Okay, I'm going to ask you to stop for a second. And I'm hoping that you've done it enough, that you've noticed some patterns. Number one, almost all of the polyatomics are negative. There's only one positive one that I've asked you to know. It's that one. Everything else on here are, as positive ones, they look like a selection of random, like copper 2 is with Roman numerals. Why do you have to have that written down? We don't have that for other ones. And the reason for that is some of those actually have older names. So if you want to sound really cool, like I knew chromium before it was chromium 2, you can call chromium 2 chromis. And chromium plus 3 is chromic. Copper 1 is cuprous. Copper 2 is cupric. So when you were doing your lab, you weren't using copper 2 chloride. If you knew it really well, you were using cupric chloride. I am not going to require you to know those old names, but if you see them, they're in your table, so you can look them up. And they just include some other random ones, just to remind you that the first column, for example, is all +1, because you can look up sodium and remind yourself. For the negative ones, what is the relationship between the 8 and the 8? Yeah.
So, for example, if we look at chlorate and chlorite, you can see that they're almost identical, with the only difference being the number of oxygen atoms. So 8s will always have like one more
Yeah.
at than their counterparts.
And when you look at them, there's no standard for an 8. 8 doesn't mean like 4 oxygens or anything, so that part you do have to know. But if sulfate is SO4 minus 2, then 8, as you just said, 1 less, SO3 minus 2. The charge doesn't even change. And that's just an older, like the cupric and cuprous, this is an older naming system that we still use. And so we differentiate between the two just based on the name. So that pattern actually makes a lot of them easier to know than you would otherwise think. They're not all just separate. They have a relationship. You can even go further. There is chlorate, which is ClO3, chlorite, which is ClO2, and then there's hypochlorite, which is 1 less oxygen than chlorite. Joan? And then if you see the word per in front of it, as in perchlorate, that means 1 more than standard. So, for example, sulfate is on here, but persulfate isn't. But if persulfate was on here, it would be SO5 minus 2. It would have 1 more oxygen because we put the per in front. So there are clues in the names as to the formula. If you know one of them, it usually looks out that you know them all. Also, I think I gave you bicarbonate. Given all of these names, what does the bi mean in front of them? Yeah? There is hydrogen. So you can call it hydrogen carbonate or you can call it bicarbonate. Both are equally correct. Bicarbonate is more common. Hydrogen carbonate is newer, but it's longer. It doesn't really matter. So when you see that, you just know it has a hydrogen on it. Also, if you know what carbonate is, SO3 minus 2, then bicarbonate puts a hydrogen on and reduces the charge by 1. And it does that for all of them. So, for example, I don't think bimanganate is on here. Do we even have manganate? HIJKL. We have permanganate, but they don't have manganate. No, manganate would be MnO3 minus 1. That's disappointing. We have hydrogen sulfide. We have bisulfide. No. Do we have the bi? No, we don't. I wanted to give an example where I could make a bi-compound, but you can't just by putting hydrogen on it and reducing the charge by 1. The charges are part of it. If you don't have the charge, it's a different thing. So, for example, this is fluoride, minus 1. This is a fluorine atom, it has a different number of valence electrons and it's going to react far faster than that one. So without the charge, it's a different compound. So charges matter. Okay?
Neutral atoms really exist.
Pardon?
Do any neutral atoms really exist?
They've all taken sides.
Besides the noble gases, they're above the rest.
Oh. Okay. We finished off here last day. If you could put that away, we're going to just continue with here, and then I'll give you some more time to work on it. Did we do these examples and I didn't write it up?
I don't.
I don't know.
I'm going to ask someone in like 2 minutes after I take attendance what the symbol and charge is for each one of those ions up there. And then we're going to work through the naming and we'll give you some practice.
Chromium A.
For the nomenclature sheet, it's the same
Nomenclature.
From the quiz? Yeah, I gave them back to you right away. I just put them there. I said that during the quiz, you can go get it right away.
Was it in the simple
Is this? It's in the not
And-
more than simple. More than simple.
Aiden,
I prefer
Arnie's
not
not here.
This one.
Owen, Graham, Grayson, Jamie. Jamie's not here.
Yeah.
Hi. Layla? Liam is here. Mari is here. Matthew is here. Miyabi is here. Nick is here. Noah and Rachel.
What thing is that in?
Rose is here. Rose, you missed the quiz last day, so it will be in the testing center for Tuesday.
She also don't come to my slide.
What? No. No. Violet and Juma. No, you.
Yeah, I don't have it.
What? Yes.
It is a sim.
If you don't have your science binder and you don't know where it is, come up, grab a new package. I think at least you can follow along. No.
I don't understand this.
We did it before this. It's somewhere.
I don't understand how to do this.
Ah, volunteer. Perfect.
No, I'm not a volunteer.
Excellent.
No.
Liam
No. Well, I
has
don't-
been randomly picked
No. Come on.
by
I said I
me
don't know how to do this.
pressing a button and then saying that you were randomly picked. What is the symbol and charge for chromium 3?
It would
Oh, first problem, you don't have your data booklet out. So everybody needs to have their data booklet out. Data booklet, data booklet, data booklet.
Okay.
Yeah, that one. That's what we're working on.
CR3 plus
There you go. How'd you know it was 3 plus?
because it has the 3 in
There.
it.
And that's a person who says they don't know what's going on. Nonsense. What is the symbol and charge for oxygen, please, Aiden?
Oh.
Periodic table. Do you have your data booklet out in front of you? You're going to need it for all of naming. Does everybody else have the data booklet out in front of them? Don't worry.
What's the symbol? It is O minus 2.
Oh, minus 2, nicely. But do you have your data booklet out? Because I think someone beside. Oh, you do. Excellent. Okay, so we have chromium plus 3. And we have O minus 2. And at this point, it is the same as any other problem. I'm going to put them beside each other and do the shortcut. What's the shortcut?
Crisscross.
Flip what? The charges. Do we keep the charge? No. So, without the charge, we take the 3, put it down there. We take the 2, put it down there. And then we go all the way, and we get, oh, look, we have CR2O3. I call that crisscross applesauce. You just go, boom, you're done. You don't put the charges down. Now, the reason it works is because, now, I'm going to do it also the long way.
Every time.
I'm going to show you when it doesn't work and how you can fix it so it still does. What number does 3 and 2 both go into? 6. And overall, the compound has to be neutral, so it has to be plus 6 and minus 6. How many of these do we need to get to plus 6? 2. And how many of these do we need to get to minus 6? 3. Note the ratio, and we get it. And the reason it works is because the number that both 3 and 2 go into are often multiplying by each other. So 3 times 2 and 2 times 3. So if you crisscross them, it usually works. Here's where it doesn't work. So I'm going to show it to you backwards. If I have calcium plus 2 and oxygen minus 2, what is the formula via crisscross applesauce? Maury.
0? No, just 2 and 2.
2 and 2. So we'd go Ca2O2. Is that correct?
No.
No. What do we have to do with it?
Simplify.
Simplify. It is like a fraction. If you have 2 over 2, or 2 over 4, or 3 over 12, you reduce. So what number did 2 go into? What could we divide into that and get a simpler fraction? 2. So that just becomes 1 and CaO. And same, we would go 1 and 2 and 1 and 4, whatever the heck it is we're doing. And we do that. It also means you can go backwards. If I needed to know the Roman numeral for that chromium, I could uncrisscross it and get plus 3 and minus 2. And I would go, oh, that's chromium 3 oxide, which would match the name. So you can uncrisscross as well. However, if I uncrisscross, say, FeO, then I would take that secret 1, put it up there, and I get Fe plus 1, O minus 1. And that's why you have to check. Is oxygen minus 1? No. So we would have simplified, so you have to remember to unsimplify. So then you go, oh no, it's minus 2, so I have to multiply everything times 2. It's Fe plus 2, O minus 2. So that becomes minus 2, and that becomes plus 2. And then you have iron 2 oxide. Try that one. I'm going to ask someone for the formula and charge in just a second, but if you can go from that straight down to the answer, you don't have to do the intervening steps. We're missing Rachel, Layla, Arnie, and Yuma.
Arnie is spontaneously combusted.
What?
Not actually.
Well, no, because that doesn't exist. Spontaneous human combustion. Well, it doesn't exist as someone walking down the street and they go foosh. Or they're sitting and they go foosh. Every single case, we've actually duplicated the effect. We know how it happens. You are inebriated, either on alcohol or barbiturates. You are in a nice plushy armchair or some other source of ignition and fire and fuel. And you are chubby. In other words, you have a lot of fat that can burn.
Oh no.
And if you're near a source of ignition, which is commonly a fireplace, and the chair starts to burn, it also requires that the door be closed. It has to happen under low oxygen conditions. It will consume the oxygen in the room. And then, you know when you see embers on a fire, like just sort of burn in? That will start happening. It will ignite the fat on fire and burn in. Often it can burn slowly but hot enough to like burn everything away, but it can also leave like whole limbs.
The early modern period, not early modern period, in like the 1920s when everyone wore like hats and multiple like shirt and jacket. When anyone, we knew if people died in the fire because we'd find hands and feet left behind because those were the only things not covered in flammable. Because it was called.
That's really cool.
The reverse wick effect.
Yeah.
It was this was the wick
Yeah.
and we were the fat.
Yeah. Okay, Grayson. Symbol and charge for tin. Yep. Oh, you get your data table out. I'll give you a hint for tin. Tin is a sin. SN. What's the charge? You don't even have to look now. 4. What's the charge and symbol for sulfide? S. -2. Excellent. So, can you either give me, I'm going to ask the next person, either the final answer or you can give me the unreduced answer. It doesn't matter. Violet? SNS2. If you do crisscross applesauce, you go like this.
Oh, it's 1 and 2.
Then they divide in. That goes in there once. That 2 goes in there twice. You get SNS2. Aiden, is that good?
What?
I heard, oh, it's 1 and 2, so I figured you were following along. You're good?
Yeah.
You're good? Good, good, good. Excellent. We were here last day because I crossed that out and apparently gave you a different one. Does anybody, do you have answers for this?
No, we started the test.
Oh, we started the test. Identify the metal and see if you can uncrisscross and see if you can get the right Roman numerals. I'll get your question in a moment. I'm going to call on people. Unless you have a question. Are you offering an answer or a question?
I don't know.
Oh, you're just scratching? It's a bit like an auction. You put up your hand and I'll call on you.
Go to one. Go to one.
Go to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
My dad posted a Brentwood charity
I know you know what
option
it
to
is.
sell cow carcasses. As Mr. Rodriguez kept heckling my dad.
Is your dad vegetarian too?
We're all vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
No, he's a pesco vegetarian, so he's a liar.
Yes. He's not a true vegetarian.
Well, the thing is that he says he's a vegetarian, but he eats fish, so all of the food staff assume I'm the same way. So I need to specify no fish
no
because
fish.
they'll give me fish.
The raging debate in the vegan community, well, not raging, but a continuous debate that keeps coming up, is honey vegan?
No.
Why not?
It's an animal product.
Yes. But bees, if they don't like their hive, are not kept in by pens, they can leave. It is freely produced.
Okay.
It is the only production. You could argue that there's no animal slavery involved, because if they weren't getting anything out of it, they'd leave.
Yes.
Hmm.
But generally, I'd say generally, to be on the safe side, no.
Oh,
I
that's the debate.
would, I'm,
No, wait a minute, I just realized I'm distracting you. Work.
so
I think meat is very vegan.
The meat with grass
No,
fed, it's
no,
fine.
meat is not vegan.
The meat with
Stop
grass
that.
fed, it's fine.
No, it's not. It's not it.
my
A&W
mom
said their
was
meat was
told
grass
that
fed. I
when
thought it
she
was vegan.
was at, when
Yeah.
someone offered her fried
You know,
chicken
the cows
in
eat
Bulgaria,
grass.
and they're like, no, they only eat plants.
Stop. I distracted you again. Stop distracting people.
What?
Yes.
You distracted her.
Liam? No.
Anything.
Okay.
You catch a crab?
Aiden? I'm assuming now, given that the question was, did you catch a crab, that you guys are done. So next up, Graham. What is the metal? Iron. Does everybody know how to remember the symbol for iron? Yep. It's Fe. But do you know the mnemonic for how to remember it? I didn't say that story last day in class. It's a well-known phenomenon that estrogen and people who were female at birth have a higher pain tolerance than people who were born male at birth. Much higher. It's studied over and over again. And that becomes, when you look at the word female, it is a male with extra iron added.
That's a good one.
I thought so. Aiden, your mark's going up. I think you're the only one laughing at my jokes. Yeah. Yeah, it's pandering at this point. Okay, does this need Roman numerals? Because they don't all. Does iron?
Yes.
Yes, it does. So we look at the ratio
I have a question.
of, yes?
Why do they make it like so weird? Why don't they just do like I or I?
Oh,
It's iron.
because the names differ by language, but the symbols are consistent. So the International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, IUPAC, which is an organization, standardizes the symbols for everybody that uses a Romanesque alphabet. So the word for iron will be, I think, is like actually literally ferrous in French.
Oh.
And so it's because the English language has changed, not because we don't. In different languages like Mandarin and Korean and things, they even have a standardized different symbols as well, I believe. Good question.
Greek.
Okay, but Aiden, a follow up. What's the ratio of iron to carbon?
4 to 1.
Did a bit. I said Aiden. 4 to 1. Excellent. Well done, Aiden.
I told him.
Now, I'm now going to ask, let's do it the shortcut way. Uncrisscross it. Liam,
What?
uncrisscross it.
Uncrisscross it. Okay, hang on. I have this. Would be okay. Carbon 1, right?
Carbon. Yep. Because
Well, that isn't that iron.
oh, sorry, you did that. No. Uncrisscross, which means you have to go diagonal.
Oh, okay. So yeah, iron 1, and then carbon
Iron 1,
carbon 4.
carbon 4.
Yay.
So when you uncrisscross it, also it's not plus, it's minus. What am I doing? Don't be stupid, Mr. Neufeld. When you uncrisscross it, you get this. Now you do have to check. Is carbon minus 4 or can it be? Yeah. So you don't have to worry that anybody simplified. You're good to go. So that means the Roman numeral in this case would be iron what?
I.
Iron
Iron 1.
1.
Iron I. Just a slightly sad and sailor.
And what's the word for carbon when it's in a compound and it's negative? Carbide.
Doesn't sound like a word.
No, not only does it sound like a word, it sounds like a bad word. Carbide. There's a chemical company with the word carbide in it, and they were responsible for a huge number of deaths because they had a chemistry plant that leaked in like India, and like millions of people were affected and still are. The carbide company is bad, or was. I think they changed their name, and now nobody knows they're bad. Okay, uncrisscross the next one. Noah. If you uncrisscross it, what do you get? Let's just go straight to here. Uncrisscross. What do you get? PT2S1. We put the charges back in. Now, take a look at your periodic table. Is sulfur minus 1? No, pardon? Minus 2. So what do we have to do to both of these? Multiply by 2. Well done. So we take those, multiply by 2, and we get PT plus 4, S minus 2. What is the name then? Miyabi. Platinum. IV. I saw you make the gesture with your hands. Sulfide. Do you spell your sulfide with an F or a PH? PH. Excellent. I happen to think that's better as well, but it does take an extra letter.
Can you see if
Okay.
it recognizes the word platinum?
There's 13 people here. So I'm going to go here and go. Question. I heard a confused sulfur's negative 2.
That's what it says.
It is, yeah. But who's just said that? Where did that come from? There? What was? Let me put it back up. What was your question?
If sulfur, like, if you're,
Is it this? The 4? No, I can't help you if you don't ask the question.
and I thought, like,
Right,
I
right.
thought it'll say if it has a different charge.
It doesn't have a different charge. How did we get that negative 1? We got it from reverse crisscrossing it. So this is 2 there, right? So that goes up there. And that one went up there. And then we checked, is it minus 2? And the answer was no. So we multiply the whole thing by 2, and that gives us the true charge of this one. Look back here. Look, because I'm going to relate it to what we did before. Remember this one, where we got these numbers and then we had to reduce? That happens when we do a reduction, because if we did reverse crisscross, we'd get sulfur minus 1 again. And so when you see that, you check to know if you have to multiply. Does that make more sense? Okay. I would like everybody to, we're gonna do something I think fairly clever. Oops. I'm going to make special groups of 1. Write down your number. Write down your number. Congratulations, Violet, you're number 1. Congratulations, Liam, you're number 13. Everybody has a number?
Lucky number 13?
Lucky number 13.
Lucky.
Ah,
One password is trying to unlock.
stop that.
Password, one password.
Yeah, I keep all my. Shh.
I think I know Mr. Newton's password.
It turns out my passwords. I was watching someone pass, like several people type in their passwords, and I have the same password as so many people.
What's your password? Make provision.
Dot, 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 dot.
It's more so right now.
Yeah. And so many people have the same password.
It's definitely private rules.
That, again, that was even Aiden didn't laugh at that one though, so it must have been fairly bad. It was good. I liked it. I've made it so many times.
I've heard you say it like 4 times before, that's why I didn't laugh.
Okay, you have a number. That number is your question. Come up here, get the question on the board with a pen. If you're given a formula, you got to give me the name. If you're given the name, give me the formula. Write both the question and the answer on the board with your number. So 1 bracket, write out the question, and then beside it, write the answer. I have 54,000 questions.
Oh, my fault.
But when you can't select that one. Did you find yours?
I just have
Yeah.
Excellent. I'll leave it up. Oh, now it's making noise.
It's an awkward angle. I thought it was a 2, but I was making sure it was a 2 because that could be any number. It could be an odd one.
It could.
Check something. Make sure I don't need Roman numerals. I do.
I can't even remember mine. I have such a bad memory.
We go back when we're done.
When you're done, yeah, you can have a seat, and then I'm going to check all the answers, and we're going to go over any mistakes so everybody can learn from every. Because some of you, by pure chance, will have gotten easy ones versus slightly less easy ones.
Am I crazy? Hope not.
Are you gonna do it your way or Saw way?
Yeah, it's funny.
More marks for them.
I don't understand.
Well, obviously you're not.
You're just not good enough.
You have to laugh at my jokes. What's there to understand?
Yeah.
It's like the
Didn't
dictator.
even understand the joke. It was just funny to me.
You're going places. They may not be good places, but they're places.
You're gonna get locked in the privet attic.
Oh
Or in the tunnel.
I don't. That's
What is
the
the
ghost hole.
If you go in the downstairs common room and the post where all the light switches are,
Yeah.
go on the side that's towards the lockers against the wall, like my apartment,
Yeah.
and hit your foot hard on the floor. You'll hear a hollow. That's where the tunnel is. It's blocked over the concrete. You can't get in. I once found a boy. He was going to go get like a pickaxe or the shovel. He was like, "I'm going to find it." Like there's concrete there. You're not going to get through.
You got it.
But that tunnel goes to Alex's house.
I've dug through.
You can get in through Alex.
People have seen the other end in Alex. It's kind of boarded up, but it's there.
Wait, is that actually there?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's how they move the bodies.
This is how they move the bodies.
Wait, what are they talking about? What?
This whole college
It used to be a
was
tuberculosis hospital.
was Alexandria Sanitarium, and it was where you went if you had tuberculosis, because at the time they thought breathing lots of salt ocean air was good for tuberculosis. So right here actually was the main building, and they had walls that were actually just giant windows,
So this place is haunted.
and they would
Yeah, so
lift up and then wheel the patients out.
Alex has
But if a patient died, you didn't want to wheel them in front of everybody, so there were tunnels to use, especially in the wintertime.
Do you think there's dead bodies in that morgue?
No. They were thoroughly cleaned up, blocked off when they built the school. I think a couple old tunnels, like they're left because they're actually concrete, and it was like more work to break them up than to just wall them off. But some of them were just collapsed because they also posed a
Wait,
danger.
so where is it? Where is it? I want to go.
It's under.
The only one I know that still exists is under Privet 2 Alex.
And only the
Yeah,
Alex
they
side is open.
Yeah.
It's in one of the bedrooms.
Open?
No, it's in
You can just go in.
Put two one into it.
On the Alex
That was the
side.
crawl space, but
That's
Yeah.
what I'm told.
Oh dear.
You know what?
I'm gonna read
put two one into one.
What?
Okay, whoa, before you go. What is the homework? What quiz do you have next day? Just naming, it's polycomics, it'll
I'm
be
gonna
quick.
have to go to like.
Name and
You won't get your data booklet, but you'll get it for all of that in the future, it's just to help you remember them, okay?
You know, I think one day they should.
Is the quiz on?
May or may not. I might just be again, or I might just print it out and you'll have to fill it out.
Can we submit multiple like tasks?
You like that?
Yeah. It's,
I don't like the online because you can't do subscript and superscript, but maybe I'll bring multiple versions.
I'm waiting for you.
Underscore is.
Don't worry.
But it doesn't actually do it. I know what you mean though. If you did that, I'd understand, but then I'd have
I'm
to
just
teach
like
everybody
walking
that.
away.
I think we're walking away. A new special week everyone, and we call it Public School Week. Basically, everything's the same except there's